Hello, I'm Dr. Wanis, Arthur Morgan, a practicing physician. And this year, I turned 85 years old. I still see patients 4 days a week, and I spend every single day delving into new medical research to better serve the people who entrust me with their health. The story I'm about to share with you begins not just with my decades of clinical experience, but with a profound lesson I learned through my own mother's life. When you hear the age 85, what image comes to mind? For many, it might be an elderly person making frequent trips to the hospital, their cabinet filled with a rainbow of prescription pill bottles. It's an image of frailty, of slowing down. But here I stand, at 85, still an active physician. My days are bustling, filled with patient consultations and the intellectual rigor of modern medicine. While many people my age are patients in a hospital, I am still the one looking after patients. Today, I want to share the secret to how this is possible. My mother, for as long as I could remember, never had much energy. From the time she turned 60, she was locked in a difficult battle with high blood pressure and diabetes. I can still see her so clearly in my mind's eye, sitting at the kitchen table every morning, pricking her finger to check her blood sugar, and letting out a heavy sigh. Her mornings were a source of constant anxiety, especially because of the sharp, unnerving spike in her blood sugar that would inevitably follow breakfast. This morning, ordeal cast a long shadow over her entire day, leaving her in a state of perpetual fatigue. Watching her from behind, seeing her slumped shoulders as she stared at another disappointing number on the glucose meter, became the single most powerful reason I chose to walk the path of medicine. It was a scene that replayed itself day after day, and each time, I would ask myself the same question. How can I make my mother's mornings lighter? How can I help her start the day with health and vitality instead of anxiety and despair? It was on this journey to find an answer for her that I uncovered the critical secrets of breakfast and blood sugar management that I believe everyone needs to know. Despite the medications she was prescribed, my mother struggled to get her blood sugar under control. Through years of my own research and by observing countless patient cases, I came to a powerful realization. Relying on medication alone is not a panacea. It is not the ultimate solution. My mother's recovery didn't come from a dramatic new treatment or a miracle drug. It began with something much more fundamental: small, consistent changes to her daily diet, her lifestyle, and, crucially, her mindset. I discovered that a simple shift in what she ate for breakfast had a staggering impact on her blood sugar levels for the entire day. This story is one you'll need to hear to the end. To grasp the full picture, I'm going to explain in detail how this small change transformed my mother's life, and how it can bring about a similar miracle for your own health. But before we begin, I have a small request for everyone watching. Could you please leave a comment telling me what part of the country you're watching from? Whether you're in New York, California, somewhere in between, or even watching from abroad. I'd genuinely love to know. And if you feel comfortable sharing, please also mention what your biggest concern is right now regarding blood sugar or diabetes. Your feedback is incredibly valuable. If you find this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. Your support is a great source of encouragement for me. The morning's dangerous domino effect. Have you ever heard of the dawn phenomenon? It's a natural process that occurs in all of our bodies between the hours of 3 a.m. and 8 a.m. Our bodies release a surge of hormones, including growth hormone, cortisol, and adrenaline. The purpose of these hormones is to prepare us for the day ahead, to wake us up and get us ready for activity. A side effect of this hormonal cocktail is that it stimulates the liver to release stored glucose into the bloodstream. This is why, for many people, fasting blood sugar is at its highest point of the day, right after waking up. It's a completely natural biological rhythm. In my 40 years of treating patients with diabetes, I have confirmed a startling fact. There is, on average, a 30 to 50 microdel difference between a blood sugar reading taken at 8 a.m. and one taken at 10 p.m. This holds true even for people without diabetes. Here is the critical point. What you choose to eat in this state of naturally elevated morning blood sugar will determine your entire blood sugar pattern for the next 24 hours. Think of it like a line of dominoes. If the first domino your breakfast falls in the wrong direction, it sets off a chain reaction, toppling every other domino throughout the day. A poor breakfast choice can sabotage your blood sugar levels all the way through dinner. This isn't just an anecdote. It's backed by science. A study conducted on 200 individuals with diabetes powerfully illustrated this. The group that consumed a breakfast high in simple sugars experienced a volatile blood sugar roller coaster for the rest of the day, with dramatic spikes and crashes. In stark contrast, the group that ate a breakfast centered on protein and complex carbohydrates maintained stable, controlled blood sugar levels all day long. The average difference in blood sugar fluctuation between the two groups was a staggering 40 mg/dl. Your first meal dictates the entire game. Now, let's talk about the specific foods that are the absolute worst offenders, the ones that are guaranteed to topple that first domino in the wrong direction. The 4 worst breakfast choices for blood sugar control. So many of us have been misled by clever marketing and outdated nutritional advice. The healthy breakfast foods that many people reach for are often the most dangerous traps for anyone concerned about their blood sugar. Fruit juice. Even 100% freshly squeezed. This is, without a doubt, one of the most dangerous pitfalls. Many people believe that starting the day with a glass of orange or apple juice is a healthy choice. It's not. It's a disaster in a glass. A single medium-sized orange contains about 12 grams of sugar. To make 1 glass of orange juice, you need 3 to 4 oranges. This means you are consuming 36 to 48 grams of sugar in a single sitting, in liquid form. What's even more terrifying is how your body processes this liquid sugar. Because there is no fiber to slow it down and no chewing involved, it doesn't trigger the same feelings of fullness as solid food. The sugar is absorbed into your bloodstream at a rate 3 to 4 times faster than if you had eaten the whole fruit. The effect is almost identical to injecting sugar water directly into your veins. I had a patient, a wonderful woman named Eleanor Vance. She was convinced she was doing something great for her health. Every morning, she would diligently juice a combination of apples and celery. Over the course of just 3 months, her hemoglobin, A1C, a key marker of long-term blood sugar control, shot up from a concerning 6.8% to a dangerous 8.5%. The moment she stopped drinking the juice, her numbers began to return to a healthier range. Cereal and granola. Many breakfast cereals, especially Frosted Flakes, chocolate-flavored varieties, and even those marketed to children, are nothing short of poison for a person with diabetes. A single serving of about 30 grams can contain 15 to 25 grams of pure sugar. Add milk to that, and the lactose from the milk brings the total sugar content to well over 30 grams. But the most insidious culprit in this category is granola. It's masterfully marketed as a wholesome, healthy breakfast option, made with nuts and oats. But read the ingredients list. In reality, it's often a cluster of sugar-coated ingredients, drenched in honey, maple syrup, or brown sugar. A single cup of granola can easily hide 30 to 40 grams of sugar. I remember a 70-year-old patient, Maria Rodriguez. She came to me, completely frustrated. "Dr. Morgan," she said, "I'm eating so healthy, but my blood sugar is out of control. Why?" I asked her to walk me through her daily meals. It turned out she was starting every single day with a bowl of organic granola. I advised her to stop immediately. Within 2 weeks, her fasting blood sugar dropped from an average of 140 mg/dl to a much more manageable 110 mg/dl. Pastries, white bread, and jam. It should come as no surprise that croissants, danishes, or donuts from the convenience store are poor choices. But what many people don't realize is that toast with jam, made right in your own kitchen, can be just as harmful. White bread itself is a high glycemic food, meaning it converts to sugar in your body very quickly. When you slather it with jam, you are piling sugar on top of sugar. Eating a meal like this, especially on an empty stomach, can cause your blood sugar to skyrocket past 200 mg/dl within 30 minutes. Even in a person without diabetes, it can easily push it over 150 mg/dl. To combat this sudden sugar tsunami, your pancreas is forced to work overtime, pumping out a massive amount of insulin. This leads to a dramatic crash 2 to 3 hours later, a state known as reactive hypoglycemia. This crash leaves you feeling tired, irritable, and, ironically, craving more carbohydrates, perpetuating a vicious cycle. Bananas and other high-sugar fruits. But Dr. Morgan, bananas are healthy, they're full of potassium. I hear this all the time. While that's true, for someone with diabetes or prediabetes, they are not an ideal breakfast choice. A single banana contains about 15 grams of sugar, and that sugar content increases as the banana ripens. Eating just one banana on an empty stomach in the morning can easily raise your blood sugar by 30 to 50 points. Other fruits like grapes, persimmons, and figs should also be avoided in the morning for the same reason. So, if these common breakfast staples are off the table, what should you be eating? The answer lies in 2 essential nutrients that are game changers for blood sugar control. The first pillar of a perfect breakfast: leucine. Through my lifelong clinical practice, the first foundational nutrient I identified for mastering morning blood sugar is leucine. Leucine is one of the essential amino acids, which means our bodies cannot produce it on their own. We must obtain it from food. The effect this single amino acid has on blood sugar management is nothing short of remarkable. Leucine works in 3 distinct and powerful ways. It improves insulin sensitivity. Leucine acts like a key that makes the locks on your muscle cells work better. It activates the insulin receptors on these cells, allowing them to pull more glucose out of the bloodstream with the same amount of insulin. It makes your body far more efficient at using the insulin it produces. It directly promotes insulin secretion. Leucine gently stimulates the beta cells in the pancreas to release insulin, but it does this intelligently. It doesn't just cause a massive indiscriminate insulin dump. Instead, it helps modulate the release, ensuring that the right amount of insulin is secreted in response to rising blood sugar levels. It stimulates muscle protein synthesis. This is perhaps its most crucial role. Leucine is a primary activator of a pathway called mTOR, which is the master regulator of muscle growth. More muscle mass means you have a larger storage facility for glucose. Think of your muscles as sponges for sugar. The bigger your sponges, the more sugar you can soak up from your bloodstream, which helps keep your levels stable. It also increases your basal metabolic rate, meaning you burn more energy even at rest. This last point is especially critical when we talk about a specific type of diabetes that is often misunderstood: the truth about lean diabetes. For years, the mainstream medical advice for preventing or managing type 2 diabetes has centered on one primary recommendation: lose 7% of your body weight. This advice has been championed by major institutions, including hospitals affiliated with prestigious universities in Tokyo and around the world. But here's the crucial truth: this advice is only half right. Why only half? Because while weight loss is certainly effective for many people with diabetes, there is a very large subset of the diabetic population for whom it is the wrong advice entirely. I'm talking about people with what we call lean diabetes. A significant number of you watching this right now might recognize yourselves in this description. These are individuals who are not overweight. Their body mass index (BMI) is often below 23, yet they have diabetes. For these patients, there is no excess weight to lose. In fact, losing weight would be detrimental. For lean diabetics, the primary goal should not be weight loss. But muscle gain. I had a 60-year-old patient, David Chen. He was 5'9" and weighed only 140 pounds. By all appearances, he was thin. Yet, his hemoglobin A1C was 7. Telling him to lose weight would have been nonsensical and harmful. Instead, I gave him a simple prescription. Every morning for breakfast, he was to eat half a block of tofu and a handful of nuts. The results were astonishing. In 3 months, his A1C dropped from 7.8% to 6. And here's the fascinating part. He actually gained 5 pounds. But his blood sugar control improved dramatically. He had replaced fat with muscle, turning his body into a more efficient glucose-burning machine. This is why consuming leucine in the morning is so particularly important. After a long overnight fast, your body can enter a state of muscle catabolism, where it starts breaking down muscle tissue for energy. Providing your body with a rich source of leucine first thing in the morning halts this process. It immediately flips the switch from muscle breakdown to muscle repair and growth, setting you up for better blood sugar stability for the entire day. One study found that when patients with diabetes consume just 5 grams of leucine with their breakfast, their post-meal blood sugar spike was reduced by an average of 20%. Not only that, but it also had a carryover effect, improving their blood sugar responses to lunch and dinner as well. The second pillar of a perfect breakfast: magnesium. The second essential nutrient that I urge you to include in your breakfast is magnesium. I've spoken about magnesium before, and its importance cannot be overstated. There is an incredibly tight and often overlooked relationship between fasting blood sugar levels and the quality of your sleep. Magnesium sits at the center of a triangle connecting sleep, stress, and morning blood sugar. If you don't get enough deep, restorative sleep, your liver doesn't have the energy to perform its metabolic duties properly, including blood sugar regulation. This directly leads to higher fasting blood sugar in the morning. Furthermore, sleep deprivation increases the secretion of the stress hormone cortisol. Cortisol signals your liver to produce more glucose, further elevating your blood sugar levels in the early morning hours. Magnesium is a mineral involved in over 300 different enzymatic reactions in the body, and it is absolutely essential for regulating morning blood sugar. In my clinical practice, I consistently find that a very high percentage of patients with diabetes are deficient in magnesium. Here's how magnesium works its magic on a cellular level. It plays a pivotal role in the insulin signaling pathway. After insulin binds to a receptor on the cell's surface, magnesium acts as a crucial cofactor, helping to transmit that signal inside the cell. Without sufficient magnesium, the signal is weak. It's like having a key insulin that fits the lock but is too flimsy to turn it. Magnesium is also vital for the process of storing glucose in your muscles and liver. The enzymes that convert glucose into its storage form, glycogen, are dependent on magnesium. Therefore, when your magnesium levels are adequate, the rise in blood sugar after a meal is more gradual. When you're deficient, that sugar has nowhere to go, and it spikes sharply. I treated a 75-year-old woman named Brenda Williams, whose fasting blood sugar was stubbornly stuck between 150 and 165 mg/dl every morning. We started her on a magnesium supplement. Within 2 weeks, her numbers dropped into the 130 seconds. After a month, she was consistently waking up with a fasting glucose below 120 mg/dl. The change was remarkable, the scientific formula for the perfect breakfast. Now, let's put all this information together into a concrete, actionnable plan. How, specifically, should you build your breakfast? Over my 40 years of clinical experience, I've developed a formula that I've seen work time and time again. High-quality protein, 15 to 30 grams. Healthy fats, 10 to 15 grams. Complex carbohydrates, 10 to 30 grams. Dietary fiber, 5 to 10 grams. What is the scientific basis for this ratio? A 15 to 30 gram serving of protein will provide you with approximately 5 to 3 grams of leucine, which is the optimal amount needed to stimulate muscle protein synthesis and improve insulin sensitivity. The 10 to 15 grams of healthy fats are essential for hormone production and the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins. Fat also significantly contributes to satiety, keeping you full and preventing you from reaching for a mid-morning snack. The 10 to 30 grams of complex carbohydrates provide the necessary energy for your brain and muscles while ensuring a slow, steady release of glucose. Finally, the fiber is key to slowing down the absorption of those carbohydrates, preventing the dreaded blood sugar spike. 3 perfect breakfast examples. Let me give you 3 concrete examples of what this looks like in practice. The tofu scramble platter. Tofu, 150 grams or about 5 ounces, scrambled with turmeric and black pepper. This provides a fantastic 3 2 grams of leucine, and 65 milligrams of magnesium. 1 egg, scrambled with the tofu, adding another 8 grams of leucine. A handful of spinach, wilted into the scramble for an extra 25 milligrams of magnesium. 1/3 of an avocado, served on the side, providing healthy fats and complex carbs. This single meal gives you 4 grams of leucine and 90 milligrams of magnesium. It's incredibly satisfying and will keep your blood sugar incredibly stable. The Greek Yogurt Power Bowl. Unsweetened Greek yogurt, 150 grams or about 23 cup. This is your protein base. With 1 gram of leucine. A handful of almonds, about 22the6.com, adds 2 grams of leucine and a powerful 75 milligrams of magnesium. A few walnuts, about 5 halves, contributes another 15 milligrams of magnesium. A small handful of blueberries, 50 grams, for antioxidants and fiber. 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, for fiber and an additional 30 milligrams of magnesium. This combination provides a total of 3 grams of leucine and a whopping 120 milligrams of magnesium. The complete plate. 2 boiled eggs. A simple and effective protein source, providing 6 grams of leucine. A small side of bean sprouts. Add 5 grams of leucine. 2 sheets of nori dried seaweed, for minerals, including 10 milligrams of magnesium. Half a small sweet potato, a fantastic source of complex carbohydrates, and 15 milligrams of magnesium. A handful of mixed nuts provides another 1 gram of leucine and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Practical strategies for success. Timing is everything. Aim to eat your breakfast within 30 to 60 minutes of waking up. If you wait too long, your cortisol levels can continue to rise, making your blood sugar more unstable. And whatever you do not skip breakfast. A study showed that when individuals with diabetes skipped breakfast, their post-meal blood sugar levels after lunch and dinner were, on average, 30 to 40 points higher. Navigating eating out. I know it's not always possible to prepare breakfast at home. Here's how to make smart choices when you're on the go. At a convenience store, look for combinations like boiled eggs, unsweetened soy milk, plain Greek yogurt, mixed nuts, cheese sticks, or a pre-made salad with grilled chicken. At a coffee shop, order an unsweetened latte with regular milk or soy milk, which has protein. Look for a protein bar with low sugar content, or see if they offer egg and cheese options without the bread. Or a nut medley. Absolutely avoid the convenience store pastry case, the donuts, the sugary muffins, the fruit juices, and the sweetened yogurt parfaits. Using supplements wisely. For some people, getting enough leucine and magnesium from food alone can be challenging. In these cases, supplements can be a useful tool. Leucine supplements. Look for leucine derived from fermentation for the best absorption. A dose of 3 to 5 grams per day, taken before or with breakfast, is effective. For those who can afford it, I recommend a supplement called Silk Peptide. Not only is it rich in leucine, but it has also been shown to improve liver function, which is another key factor in blood sugar management. Magnesium supplements. Magnesium comes in many forms. Magnesium glycinate is highly absorbable and gentle on the stomach. Magnesium citrate is an affordable option. Magnesium oxide can be helpful for those who also suffer from constipation. A daily dose of 200 to 400 milligrams is generally recommended, but it's best to split the dose, e.g., half in the morning, half at night to avoid digestive upset. 3. More game-changing habits for blood sugar control. While a perfect breakfast is the cornerstone, there are 3 other practices that can dramatically enhance your results. Change your meal sequence. The veggies first rule. The order in which you eat the foods on your plate has a massive impact. I had a patient, a 50-year-old man named James Peterson. By making one simple change, changing the order in which he ate his food, he lowered his average 2-hour post-meal blood sugar by 30 points within a month. He was shocked. "I can't believe it made such a difference." He told me, "The rule is simple. Vegetables first, protein and fats second, and carbohydrates last. Start your meal with a salad or some steamed vegetables. The fiber from the vegetables forms a sort of mesh in your digestive system, slowing down the absorption of the sugars you eat later. Next, eat your protein and fat meat, fish, tofu. Finally, add your carbohydrates: rice, bread, pasta. This simple trick prevents overeating by making you feel full faster and dramatically blunts the post-meal blood sugar spike. The miracle of a glass of water. Sufficient hydration is a non-negotiable tool for blood sugar management. Water helps dilute the concentration of glucose in your bloodstream, effectively lowering your blood sugar levels. It also supports kidney function, helping your body flush out excess sugar through urine. I had a 70-year-old patient, Sarah Johnson, who rarely drank plain water. Her go-to beverages were coffee and diet soda. Her blood sugar was consistently erratic. I encouraged her to make a conscious effort to drink at least 1.5 to 2 liters of plain water every day. After 3 months, her fasting blood sugar showed marked improvement. Make it a habit to drink water regularly throughout the day. A glass of water before a meal can also increase feelings of fullness, preventing overeating. Of course, if you have a kidney condition, you must consult your doctor about the appropriate amount of fluid intake. Manage your mind. Peace is the protector of blood sugar. Stress is a direct enemy of blood sugar control. When you are stressed, your body releases hormones like cortisol, which directly raise your blood sugar. Chronic stress leads to increased insulin resistance, making diabetes significantly worse. A 60-year-old patient of mine, Robert Miller, was a businessman under extreme pressure. His blood sugar remained high. Despite medication, his numbers only began to stabilize when he started actively managing his stress through hobbies and meditation. You must find a healthy outlet for your stress. This could be a gentle walk, meditation, yoga, a hobby, or simply ensuring you get enough sleep. Even just 10 minutes a day, dedicated to calming your mind, can make a world of difference. Turning to food or alcohol to cope with stress will only sabotage your blood sugar goals. Don't hesitate to seek professional help if you need it. My personal commitment to you. I want to end by sharing something personal. I recently had my own blood work done, and my hemoglobin A1C was 5%. For those who may not know, that number falls into the pre-diabetes range. Yes, even at my age, after a lifetime of careful management, I am on the cusp. But I want you to know this, and I say it with absolute conviction based on my life's experience and knowledge. I will lower this number. Over the next few months, I will be even more diligent, and I will prove to you that I can bring this number back into the completely normal range. My breakfast every morning now consists of 100 grams of tofu, a handful of nuts, and a small portion of brown rice. I will report back to you in a few months to share how much my numbers have improved. If you follow the methods I've shared in this video, I have no doubt that you can achieve the same results. When you change your morning, you change your day. When you change your day, you change your life. People will tell you that diabetes cannot be cured, but with proper management, you can live a life that is virtually indistinguishable from that of a person without it. That journey begins with a proper breakfast. I urge you, start tomorrow morning. Give it just 2 weeks of consistent effort. I promise you, you will feel a change in your body. I wish you all the best in reclaiming a life free from the grips of diabetes, all starting with a healthy breakfast. I look forward to seeing you again, in better health.